Our next guest is a former monk turned best-selling author and social media star whose inspiring videos have been viewed over 7 billion times. Please welcome Jay Shetty. Jay Shetty, it has been 2 years since you've been here, and it's so great to see you again. You were supposed to come back again to talk about the book, and then the pandemic hit.
I am so grateful to be back. I feel like last time when I came on, it was truly life-changing. And Ellen, I don't think I've ever told you this story before, but before I actually came on the show, about a year before, my wife and I had just moved to LA, and we came to this set. And we were on the Warner Brothers tour, and they brought us to this studio, and everyone was taking pictures. And I remember my wife said, "Do you want a picture?" And I said, "I'm going to be patient and wait till I can meet Ellen, because I know she's into meditation and mindfulness, and I was such a huge fan. Never thought it would ever happen, but it did. And I just want to thank you for being such an amazing supporter of my work and showing me so much love, honestly.
I want everyone to know about you and mindfulness, and you did manifest that. I believe completely in manifesting things in your life. So you just celebrated your 5th wedding anniversary with your wife, you just mentioned. Anything special? What'd you do?
So I'm a hopeless romantic, so I handmade her this scrapbook with pictures, messages, and memories from the last 5 years. We've been through so much together. In 1 year alone, we moved country, got married, moved jobs, and it was all unexpected. And so every year on our anniversary, we sit down and we reflect on what we've learned about each other, what we've learned individually, and what are our intentions and aspirations for the future together. So it was beautiful.
That's beautiful. That's what everyone should do. That's incredible. So I've heard that a lot of people during this pandemic have been struggling in relationships. Portia and I happen to spend a lot of time with each other and together, so we really didn't see a big difference, but I think for some people, it was a struggle to all of a sudden spend a lot of time. What do you say to those people?
I can completely imagine that. I think it's been such a challenge for so many of us. And the biggest thing is, I think we need to reset expectations and boundaries. So in every relationship, we have the opportunity to set the level of joy we expect and the level of pain we'll accept. And we have to understand that people adapt differently to pressure and pain. And so being patient and allowing your partner to show you what they need and share what they need is so important.
Yeah, well, and it's a hard thing to do because most people want someone to know exactly how to act around you all the time. So you wrote this book, Think Like a Monk, and you were a monk. You lived as a monk for 3 years. And congratulations, #1 New York Times bestseller. Congratulations.
Thank you for your wonderful testimonial.
Of course. So tell everybody why a monk mindset is beneficial to your life.
So I didn't know this when I lived as a monk, but then I later discovered that research shows that monks have the happiest brains on the planet. So this is how I like to think about it. If I wanted to learn how to play basketball, I'd go to LeBron James. Or if I wanted to know how to perform, I'd come to Beyonce. You'd want to go to someone who's exceptionally talented and gifted. Now, if you wanted a happy mind, and I'm guessing we all want happy minds, I want a happy mind, you want to go to monks because they've dedicated their life to that. So studies show that monks have the highest form of gamma waves when they scan their brain, which is associated with happiness, attention, and learning. And so if you want to be happy, why not go to the people with the happiest brains and minds on the planet?
Yeah, and do you feel like you're able to, because that's quite an extreme way to live. Everybody cannot do that. You did it. But now you're back living in this kind of world instead of that world. I was going to say
the real world.
But that is the real world also. But the hardest thing, I think, is people, and you talk about this, people talk about their identity or what they think about themselves or what other people think about them and how that affects happiness.
Yeah, I don't believe you have to live like a monk to learn to think like a monk. We can practice the principles that people are practicing in the other world in our day-to-day right now. Because one of the biggest challenges we have is often our identity is wrapped up in what we think others think about us. So it's not even what they actually think or what we think about ourselves. We always ask people questions like, how do you think I look in this? Or what do you think I should do? And the real question that we should ask ourselves is, well, how do I feel I look in this? And what do I think I should do? And that's how we learn to develop trust and really understand our own intuition. And so that's what thinking like a monk is all about. It's learning to understand yourself, have that self-awareness, and trust your own intuition.
Yeah, so important. Easier said than done for a lot of people, but it's so important. All right, when we come back, Jay is going to answer some questions from our audience. We'll be back. We're back with Jay Shetty, and this is his book, Think Like a Monk, and we wanted to give people in the audience a chance to ask him questions. One of the smartest guys I know as far as figuring out how to balance your life. Taylor Reynolds, where are you? Hi, Taylor.
Hey, Taylor.
Hi, Ellen.
Hi.
Hi, Jay.
Hi, what's your question?
How do I cope with the constant pressure from social media and society to always stay positive, have the perfect body, have the perfect marriage, and stay hustling? It feels impossible and overwhelming.
Yeah, that's such a great question. Thank you so much for asking that. And one of the first things is our relationship with social media. This is going to sound really tough, but I want you to try it out. Please don't look at your phone first thing in the morning. It will change your life. Studies show that 80% of us look at our phones first thing in the morning before we see our partners, before we see our kids. And if we change that habit to wake up to something that inspires us, it could be your favorite quote, your favorite song, it could be a work of art that you love, a picture of your family. If you wake up and you feel inspired, that's going to change everything. Try it out for a week and let me know what happens.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, it is a tough thing. I mean, with social media, it's not going anywhere. It's here to stay, and it's very beneficial in some ways, but we do stare at our phones and our computers way too much. All right, Amber Mearns. Where's Amber Mearns?
So I'm a mom of 6-year-old twins. I'm incredibly burnt out with the day-to-day tasks of caring for them and also, of course, everyday stressors. How do I pull myself out from the burnout and begin to find myself again and find purpose again?
So it sounds like you already have enough on your plate, so I don't want to add anything. But the one thing I'd love for you to do is find 2 to 3 minutes a day to ask yourself this one question. What's the one thing I can do today to make today a great day? If I feel like so many of us are trying to be the perfect parent, the perfect partner, the perfect person in the middle of a pandemic, being perfect is impossible as it is, but trying to do it right now. Let go of that judgment. Be compassionate with yourself.
And Amber,
Thank you so much.
I'll say, Amber, it's so important if you just have time to take a walk. If you just go out and because walking makes you take deep breaths, and just deep breaths can just change everything. It really calms you down. And just walking and getting out of the house and having alone time, it's like a walking meditation, which I love to do, walking meditations. And then it gives you ideas. You're creative. You think about what Jay is saying, like, what can I do to make me happy today? But walking,
Right.
I'm a big fan of walking. Anyway, thank you for your question. You can get Jay's book, Think Like a Monk, and he has all kinds of answers for any other questions that you have. It's in stores now, and I think everybody is struggling with anxiety and depression and all kinds of things because of what we've all been through. So this book will surely help you out. We'll be back.